Hi, hello, hi, welcome. Hi to those watching on the replay. This is Kirsten Cowan. Hi, thank you for joining me today for TCM Talk. Normally, I'm joined by my colleague, fellow acupuncturist and herbalist, Denise Chicuto. Unfortunately, Denise couldn't be here this afternoon, so I'm going to be flying us solo through some fascinating things about skincare, natural skincare, and how we can start to detox our skincare regimen in some surprisingly easy ways. So this first scope, I'm going to talk about why you might want to detox your skincare regimen. Some of the things that you might be exposing yourself to that you're not even aware of, or you're aware of but try not to think about, and point you for some resources to how easy it is to kick those toxins out of your daily practice, out of your skincare regimen. And then stay tuned for a second scope where I'm going to give you some great DIY techniques for using natural skincare products or even homemade items to give yourself a rejuvenating facial treatment and cleanse your skin using the oil cleansing method. So I'm Kirsten Cowan. I'm the founder of a company called Angelica and Peony. I'm also a licensed acupuncturist and herbalist here in Oakland, California. So I create handmade, non-toxic, all-natural skincare and healthcare products using traditional Chinese medicine, natural oils, and aromatherapy. So that's me, and that's where I hail from. And one of the reasons why I started making skincare products, I've been making different kinds of women's health topical products using Chinese herbs for some time, but at the same time I was getting more concerned about chemicals and things like that found in personal care products and skincare and moisturizers, and I wasn't satisfied with the alternatives that I was finding at that time. So that's actually how I, it's a direct line to how I found myself making the skincare products that I make now and sell through my business, Angelica and Peony. So some of the things that if you're interested in this topic, you may already know some of these things, but even for someone like me who is lives in this world all the time, when I actually sat down and read some of the science behind what is in the products that, especially here in the United States, people are using every single day, it was very alarming for me, and I imagine you might feel the same. So one of the things that especially kind of gets me hot and bothered about this issue is that these products are primarily aimed at women, and many of them really act on our hormonal systems, our cycles, our fertility, and can affect our unborn children, or affect our children through breastfeeding, and affect our own reproductive and sexual lives through our hormone system. So that's pretty disturbing for me as a woman, and it certainly affects men as well. So talking about the average woman in the United States, she's using 12 different products in an average day, and they contain over 160 different chemicals. Now, less than 20% of the chemicals that are used in personal care products have actually been assessed for safety by the cosmetics and personal care products industry. In the United States, only 11 chemicals have been banned for use in personal care products. For contrast, in the European Union, over 1,300 chemicals have been banned. So that's such a big difference, it almost takes a second to sink in. Only 11 chemicals have been banned by the U.S. government for application on the skin in personal care products. And in Europe, over 1,300 chemicals are banned because of safety concerns. Now, some people, maybe not people watching this scope, but some people might ask, do we know beyond a shadow of a doubt that each of these 1,300 chemicals absolutely is proven to cause harm? Not necessarily, but I would say certainly when we're talking about skin care, hair care, shampoos, body wash, why take a risk? Absolutely, why take a risk? We don't need to prove these things to beyond a shadow of a doubt to want personally to avoid exposing ourselves to chemicals that we can avoid when there's so many things around us in the environment that we can't avoid. This is a place where we really have a choice. We can choose what comes into our bathroom. We can choose what goes onto our skin, into our bathtub, onto our children and our family members' skin and hair. So I think, I imagine you might join me in wanting to make this as non-toxic an experience as possible. So I just want to tell you very briefly about some of the biggest offenders that you're going to want to start eliminating from your medicine cabinet, from your bathroom counter, from your shower. And the ingredients that I really want to bring your attention to include a family of chemicals called parabens. They are in all kinds of products where that contain water, so shampoos and lotions and body washes, where they act to stop microbial growth. Now there is a link. There is a pretty clear links with parabens and cancer, and also reproductive and hormonal disruption. Parabens are found in the urine of almost every adult in the United States. I actually, in my notes, put this under ick factor because I found that so disturbing. They're so prevalent in our environment and in the products that we use every day that they're being excreted in the urine of virtually every adult in the United States. They've also been found in breast cancer tumors and in breast tissue. That doesn't necessarily prove a direct link with breast cancer, for example, but it is without a doubt that parabens cross intact through the skin and into your body. They don't break down, they don't transform into something else. They travel right into your body through your skin. So definitely a family of ingredients you're going to want to avoid. Another on my most wanted list are BHA and BHT. These are banned in the European Union. They are chemicals that are banned in the European Union but can be found in personal care products in the United States. They're preservatives. They're also found in food, which is horrible. And they can be found in makeup, different skincare products, and shampoos, deodorant, sunscreen, things like that. The concern with them is, again, endocrine disruption. That's hormone interfering with normal hormone function and cycles in the body, and also organ toxicity, like actually toxin, actual poisons. Both the European Union and Environment Canada have concluded that there's a very strong link to endocrine disruption and mammal, toxic effects in mammals, and have either banned or restricted. Yeah, right? Gross. The use of these chemicals. And finally, a sort of sneaky offender is the family of phthalates. I think I'm saying that right. I didn't actually Google the exact pronunciation. They're banned in the European Union, and the place where they're usually found is through an FDA loophole here in the United States, where companies don't have to reveal the specific ingredients when they use a blanket category like fragrance. So when you see something, when you see an ingredient in, in your deodorant or in your moisturizer, your shampoo, your hair gel that says fragrance, there's a very good chance that phthalates are appearing in that. So they are also linked to cancer and to reproductive harm, and they have a special affinity for the reproductive tract and development of young boys in the uterus. Baby boys are especially vulnerable, and they can also be exposed through breast milk. It will be transmitted to babies through breast milk. So that sneaky one, fragrance, is one that I want to make you especially aware of, because even if you're looking at paraben-free or, something that looks, it doesn't have the, big long ingredients listed on it, you may feel a little bit better about it. But if it has that fragrance term, it can have a whole host of horrors hidden inside that ingredient totally legally without them having to declare exactly what it is. So there's a much bigger cast of evildoers, if you can stand to learn even more. And you can check out safercosmetics.org. That's a great resource for getting to know and understand these dangerous chemicals that are found in our everyday personal care products that we're using. And if you're thinking now, well, what do I do now? I've actually, you really don't. That's a great question. How do we know if it's a safe fragrance? You really do not know, because there is no legal requirement for them to list what is making up that fragrance. So if something has essential oils in it and it lists the individual essential oil, or you might see, I was actually looking on some lip balm I have that's from Europe, that lists a specific, it lists linalool, which is a specific extract from plants or can be made synthetically. It lists the specific chemical that they're using to create a fragrance. But here in the United States, because they don't have to parse out what makes up that fragrance, they can just use that catch-all term and you have no idea what you're getting. So I would say if something says fragrance on it, do not buy it, do not use it, because you cannot know what's in it. So again, I'm going to direct you to safercosmetics.org for lots more information about the bad guys. And if you want to know about the good guys, how you can make safer swaps that are going to make your skin and your internal organs and your endocrine system happy, I've written a 4-step skin detox for you. You can find that on my website, angelicaandpeony.com. And it's also pinned to our TCM Talk Pinterest board, which you can find at bit.ly/periscope pins. It's also in the bio link for the TCM Talk profile. Everything that Denise and I talk about during TCM Talk, we should save links and stuff to it there on our Pinterest board, so you can always look up what we've talked about. Well, if there's no more questions, I'm going to leave you with that horror movie ending of the horrors that are in average chemically laden personal care products. I'm going to encourage you to check out my 4-step skin detox article that great. That's great. That's great to hear. I'm glad you learned. I did too, as I say, when I'm doing the research for this, even though I live and breathe this stuff, I still learned some new stuff, especially about the impact that these chemicals have on our bodies. If you want to stay tuned, I'm going to be back in just a minute or two with a really fun DIY kind of hands-on demonstration for something that you can do at home, how to do the oil cleansing method. That's cleaning your face with natural oils. And I'm going to throw in a little bonus facial gua sha, which is a Chinese facial rejuvenation technique, a type of self-massage. And Denise will be on either sometime in the next 2 weeks or in our next scope in 2 weeks to talk a little bit in depth about traditional Chinese medicine and dermatological conditions. So more serious skincare issues to do with eczema, psoriasis, dermatitis, acne, all this kind of stuff, and how traditional Chinese medicine offers a real and effective alternative to traditional dermatological interventions. So thanks for joining me, and thanks for watching on the replay, and I will be back in just a minute or two with a quick demonstration of the oil cleansing method and Chinese facial rejuvenating massage. Bye.